So for this vlog, I thought I would share a few things about me that you probably don't know. One, when I was like 7 years old, I wrote a fan letter to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it was like right after watching Kindergarten Cop. I don't know why, it's the only fan letter I've ever written in my life. And my husband loves to tease me about it. 2, I used to have 3 tattoos. I had 1 star on each wrist, and then I had an ohm on my back. And after I was holding my oldest son Thomas in my arms and I had baby pictures, I had these giant stars that were in the picture with him, and it just didn't feel right. The 3rd thing, I went to 3 different high schools, which is a lot, I think. I moved when I was 13 to Montana before the internet existed. I thought I was gonna ride my horse to school, and I went to high school my freshman year in Whitefish, Montana. And then I moved to Sun Valley, Idaho, and I went to a school in Sun Valley, Idaho for my sophomore and junior year, and I went to a boarding school for my senior year in California. The next thing, I was a nanny for Jamie Lee Curtis when I was in college. I went to college at NYU. I was always a little bit rebellious as a kid. I always followed the rules, but I just pushed it to the edge. And when I was in 7th grade, my friend and I took our hair, pulled it halfway up, and took a Bic razor to the back of our heads and completely shaved it bald. When I first started dating my husband, I told him that he wasn't allowed to tell anyone that we were dating. Not because I was embarrassed, but because I wanted to keep it pure and just between us. And I didn't want to make anyone feel worried that we might break up during filming or anything. So I told him that he wasn't allowed to tell anybody. I really wanted to be a professional soccer player growing up. Mia Hamm was my idol. I went to middle school with Marla Sokoloff and we both won something in 7th grade. I forget what we won, but I think she won like prettiest and I won like happiest, or I don't know. I am still really good friends with some of the crew and cast of Wildfire. Nicole Tubiola Hutchinson is one of my dearest friends. I am the oldest of 4 siblings, and my sister, who is the 3rd, suffered a traumatic brain injury a couple years ago when she fell 4 stories. She is an even cooler and better person, and with all that got to meet some really cool people who have suffered brain injuries, like Kevin Pierce, who is such a cool guy and inspiration. For our honeymoon, my husband and I went and hiked Machu Picchu, and it was the most beautiful and gratifying honeymoon to accomplish together, but it was also the most unromantic because the entire time we were suffering from altitude sickness. So we were both like running to the bathroom, except that there was no bathroom because we hiked it and camped. So we'd be running out of the tents to find like some space from each other. So I was born Jennifer Nicole Cortese, or Cortese as they say in Italy. And when my mom had me, they were going to name me Genevieve, and at the last second changed it to Jennifer. And my mom has always said that she regretted it. Growing up, my mom would tell me, well, your real name is Genevieve, which was my father's grandmother. And I remember thinking like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not. And when I was around 21, it just felt right. Everyone calls me Jen, and I just felt like a Genevieve. And so I ended up changing my name and going back to what my parents wanted to name me. So it just felt natural, which is kind of weird. So I'd love to hear what's unique about you guys. So drop a comment and subscribe to my YouTube.